Okay, so today we're going to still focus on the systems of equations with the systems of inequalities here. And make sure you put on your date, 1/15/2014. This time we're going to look at them using a graphing calculator. So if you have one, you might want to pause the video for a second and get your graphing calculator out. I want to look at how we can use some of these equations in a graphing calculator. So if we look at this one, turn it on, and go to my y equals for graphing inequalities. Okay, so let's look at this problem to the right here. We have y, and then we have an inequality. We have 1/2 x plus 2. So looking at our equation here, there are programs that you can load onto your calculator called Inequalities, where you could actually put an inequality here. But I want to learn how to do without it, because when you take your state exam at the end of the year, we have to remove all programs, so you won't have that available to you. So you do need to know how to do it without the Inequalities program. And some of the newer calculators came with them already loaded on, where you could actually put this exact equation in with the less than or equals to sign. But again, at the end of the year, that program won't be there for you to use. So I want to make sure that we learn how to use it without it. So to put this equation in, I'm going to treat it as if that was an equals. So I'm going to go to my calculator and I'm going to put in 1/2, which is 1 divided by 2, x, and then we have plus 2. So that's that equation. Then I'm going to go down to y2, and I'm going to put in negative and make sure we hit that -2. It's a short line. X minus 3. Okay? So when we're graphing this, make sure you start at your zoom standard, which is zoom 6. And we'll see that these cross, and we can even find the intersection. However, these are inequalities, so we want to know what area works for them. So going back to my y equals, this sign right here, we can put in, but it looks a little funny. We left arrow all the way over, and I hit the enter button. And you can see it'll give me a thick line, it'll give me a top corner, it'll give me a bottom corner, and then it'll give me this funny little key, and then you can have the 0 and a dash line, and then it goes back to regular. Well, when you're looking at this greater than sign, you want to think about it looking like this. Greater than kind of looks like the symbol like this on the calculator we just did. So when you're on the left hand arrow key, the bottom one, if you kind of think about it, I don't know if I can outline it, this kind of looks like a greater than sign, although it's a right angle. You can see how it kind of looks like that. That's the less than sign. I said greater, sorry. That's the less than sign. If we're going to do the greater than sign, that symbol on the calculator there kind of looks like this. It's the top corner shaded. And so I always remind myself that this is the greater than sign, because I think it sort of looks like a greater than if you were to draw an outline like this. You can kind of see how it looks like that a little bit. Okay, so looking at our calculator now, up here I have less than. So less than, I'm going to get the bottom corner symbol in there. So I'm going to hit enter. Oops. I'm going to hit enter. I was going to try to hit enter, but now it's writing something funny and I can't get it to go away. Go away. Okay, so now, there we go. Enter. There's the top one. That's the greater than sign. And then here's the bottom. That's the less than sign. Okay. And then I'm going to go down to this one. And again, this one is the less than also. Now the calculator will not distinguish between a dotted or a dashed and a solid line. You have to know which one's solid and which one's dashed. So if I look at it now and I hit graph, it will shade for me the two different lines. Okay, and so you can see here, this is your double shaded region right here. Okay, so this is where there's solutions for both equations. And we talked a little bit about constraints here. The only constraint that you can really see on here is this one right there. And I could do a intersection to figure out that constraint. The other constraints are going to probably be off the board here. Okay, so that's how we graph an inequality using the calculator. Okay, so let's look at one other problem real quick. I want to look at this problem here. In order to put it in the graphing calculator, we're going to have to do some work on it. It's in standard form. It has to be in slope-intercept form. So I want you to pause the video, and I want you to put it in slope-intercept form real quick for me, and then come back to the video. Okay, so if you solve correctly, we should have subtracted the 3x. Oops, I'm missing my x. 3x over here, and then we divide by 2. So we get this, and we leave the inequality the same. Remember, we switched that if we have to divide by a negative, but there's no negative there. Here we subtracted the x over and divided by 2 and got this. So now, excuse me, looking at our calculator, I'm going to clear these out. So we're going to clear those out. Clear, and then clear. So the top one, I'm going to put in negative. So make sure you hit that negative 3 divided by 2x minus 1, and then I'm going to go all the way over, and I can see here that this is the greater than sign, so I want that top one. So I'm going to hit enter until I get that greater than sign. Remember, I sort of think that looks like greater than. So we go down, this one's going to be less than, so that one should be the opposite. There we go. And then we're going to right arrow and put in negative x, or you can put negative 1x, or you can put negative 1/2. All those work. Divided by 2 plus 1. 2x plus 1. Okay? Always take an extra second. Oops, I didn't need that x in there. That's why you take an extra second and make sure everything's in there correctly. And then we hit graph. Okay? And so this time my double shaded region is in here. Okay, so all the points in here will work. And so if I look at that, I could pick, let's see, 0.00 seems to be in there. And if I put 0 in for these, I'll get 0 is greater than or equal to negative 2. And if I put 0 in for here, I'll get 0 is less than or equal to 2. Those are both true statements. The last thing I want you to do is take, for your notes tonight, list one other coordinate here. I picked 0, 0, which was a solution. Pick one other coordinate here that would be a solution for these systems based on your double shading. And have a great night. Oh, I almost forgot. Don't mess with the Enderman. Make sure you have an example of a solution to the systems of equations. Good night.